Hey, what is up guys? Today we're checking out the Playarts Kai, Final Fantasy 15, Cindy. So let's take a look at the packaging, then we will take a closer look at the figure. Stay tuned guys. Okay, so here is the packaging, and on the front we have a nice photo of the figure itself. I would say this is probably the best box for all of these Playarts Kai Final Fantasy 15 figures. It's just such a great photo. But anyhow, here we have the 30th anniversary sticker at the top, and we have the logos of the game and Playarts Kai. And here's the sides of the packaging, and the back we have once again more photos of the figure itself. And let's take a look at the inside of the packaging. We do have a bit of text here, so feel free to pause and read if you guys want to read this. And here we have a nice photo of the figure once again, and a nice window display to showcase the figure inside the box with all the accessories. So of course we have the outer packaging, we have a couple pairs of hands, some tools, and we have the toolbox itself, which can actually open up, which is a really cool feature. I'll give you guys a look at that a little bit later on, but of course we have the figure itself. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at the figure. Okay, so here is the figure, and I have got to say, this is definitely one of the best figures out of the Final Fantasy 15 line. It's just so detailed. I don't know what it is about this figure, but it seems like they put the most amount of efforts into the sculpting and the paintwork into this figure in particular. It just really stands out compared to the rest of the figures in the line. I mean, check out the sculpting work. It's kind of crazy to think that this is a Playarts Kai figure. It's yeah, definitely one of the best that I've ever seen from this company. Very great piece, great design, and yeah, just overall very nice figure to have with the rest of the Chocobros. Okay, so let's take a look at the head sculpt of the figure. And yeah, look at the sculpting work here. It's just really amazing. I mean, this is a pretty old figure, but every time I see this head sculpt, I'm just blown away by it. It's a very, very nice piece. She's even got the hats, the hammerhead, full service station emblem on the front of the hats, which is a really cool detail. And you can see the eyes are painted almost like a green type of blue color. And she's got eyelashes, eyebrows painted in there. Lips are painted a very light pink with a bit of gloss painted over them. And we even have the hairpiece, which is painted blondes. And it's not just completely painted blonde, we have different tones in there. It looks almost like a dirty blonde type of color, which I think is very fitting for the character since she is a mechanic. So yes, very nice head sculpt. I never get tired of seeing this head sculpt. It looks really, really good. And we have these goggles around the neck of the figure, which I don't think you can take it off unless you pop off the head sculpt. But yeah, they cannot fit onto the actual head sculpt of the figure itself. And moving down here to the chest piece, we have this yellow jacket piece, which has some pretty nice details. You can see the zips, you can see all the pockets, all the belts and buckles sculpted in there. And it's also made out of a soft piece of plastic, so it doesn't hinder the articulation. I mean, it's pretty obvious what they were trying to design for this character. But I think it's a great design despite, the obvious. It's just a very cool looking character, very photogenic. And yeah, I think she suits being in the game. She's a real, real iconic character in Final Fantasy 15, and the game wouldn't be the same without her. And here's the arms of the figure, and the other arm holding the toolbox down here. And here's a look at the waist, exposing a lot of skin. Once again, very sexualized design. But yeah, you can see the paint job is super nice here. It looks almost brown, like very tanned. And you can see this here belt piece holding all these tools at the back. It's got some nice details. And the belt is also made out of a soft piece of plastic. So once again, it helps with the articulation. And moving down here to these super high, almost like cowgirl boots or heels. Yep, a very unique design. Very, very interesting what they came up with for this character. And here's the back of the figure, and once again we have a nice look at the back of the hairpiece, all the sculpting work and the paint job. It looks really good. And there's a look at the top of the hats. And moving down here to the back of the jacket piece with the hammerhead symbol. Very cool design. It's, you know, for me personally, it's a very iconic symbol. I just love Final Fantasy 15 so much. It's such a great game, despite all the flaws. I just, you know, it holds a special place for me. I really need to replay this game at some point. And down here is the toolbox and the boots of the figure. And here's the side of the figure, just in case you guys want to check it out. So we have a nice profile of the face. Such a great sculpt. And moving down here to the chest piece of the figure. And the waist with all these holsters to hold all of her tools. This side we have some type of, it looks like a cloth. And toolbox in her hand. And the boots. And on this side of the figure it's a little bit different. So here's a look at the head sculpt. Moving down to the chest piece. The main difference here is this little holster which has more tools. It looks like a screwdriver in there. And there's the hand of the toolbox and the boots once again. And I just want to give you guys a close-up on the toolbox, which, as I mentioned before, can actually open up, which not many people know about. You know, most people don't think that these bottom drawers can actually open up. They only think the top one can open. But as you can see, all three of them can open up, and we have all these tools inside. As you can see, it's really amazing detail. I did not expect this. I mean, they didn't need to sculpt this, but they just went the extra mile and they sculpted all these tools. We have like a hammer, we have pliers. You know, it's such a cool design. Spanners in there, wrenches, and you know, all these nuts and bolts. It's very, very cool, and just makes the figure feel, you know, a bit more special. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation for the figure. So as for the head sculpt, we have a ball joint in there. We don't have any joints in the neck because I guess they want to keep the whole sculpt of the chest piece completely clean. And here we have ball hinge joints at the shoulders and ball hinge joints at the elbows and the wrists. So this here jacket piece is also made out of a softer piece of plastic, so you can kind of move it, and you know, it helps with the articulation. As for the torso piece, we have this large ball joint, which as you can see rotates all the way, and we also have a ball joint inside the waist, which as you can see kind of exposes a bit more detail, which is a little bit weird. But anyhow, moving on, we also have these ball ratchet joints at the hips, and we have a really weird detail here. So if I just move the legs down, you can see they've even added like some type of like tan line on the butt, which is super weird. Don't know why they would go the extra mile and, you know, include this, but anyhow, it is there for, you know, whatever reason. I really, you know, it's some strange choices, but anyhow, moving on with the articulation, we have these swivel joints at the thigh, which is really nice to see because sometimes players kind of forget to include these joints, so it's really good to see here. We have this ball hinge joints at the knee, and we also have a ball hinge joints at the ankle piece. So yeah, overall, pretty good articulation for the figure. And here's how Cindy looks holding the wrench. So I've tried to replicate the pose on the front of the box as best I could. And yeah, I think she looks pretty cool. It's a pretty cool pose for the figure, and it looks great. You know, it's a very photogenic figure, as I mentioned before. I've just got the toolbox right here. So yeah, I may switch up the pose and have the figure positioned like this for a while, because I've had the figure in the same pose for quite a number of years. So I think it's about time to, you know, switch up the figure for this pose. But anyhow, that's a look at the figure. And here is Cindy, displayed beside the rest of the Playarts Kai Final Fantasy 15 figures. So I've just got her displayed right here, next to Aranea and Luna Freya. Yeah, very great figure and very colorful. It's very eye-catching because most of the figures from Final Fantasy 15 have a very dark color scheme, you know, very black. But yeah, Cindy is the most colorful out of all the characters, which I think is, you know, a great contrast. It just makes her stand out, and it's such a great figure and great character. But anyhow, guys, a very nice piece if you guys are a big fan of Final Fantasy 15. I do recommend picking it up. I will have reviews on the other figures in the line, So if you guys want to check it out, then it will be on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, guys.